Welcome again to the Motley Croc Show. We have not been here in a long time. It's 8 o'clock on Thursday night. We do have everybody with us that we said we would have. But hopefully Brittany will pop in. We'll do some catch-ups tonight on some things. Feel free to start commenting if you can hear us and let us know. And I'll start bringing in our crew. And welcome into Manic Satanic. What's up, my friend?
No.
We have Conservative Ant. Look how small he is. He's so tiny. God, you've lost a lot of weight, guy. And the famous Justin Iguana. What's up, my friend?
Oh, wait, you can't see it. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you are.
I figured I'd start it off right.
So anyways, we're going to catch up with everybody. We'll do a little chat. And I know we've been on hiatus for a while, but there's reasons for that. We are working on some big projects out there in the realm of the world. And so we have some really big things coming up that we will not be talking about tonight.
No, you go. It's the lemurs.
Oh, I'm well aware of what that was. Lemurs.
I can't control that. I can control everything else, but not that.
It's fine. We completely understand. So we'll catch up on some of that stuff. We'll catch up with everybody else. Ant, you've been up to some crazy shit, I'm sure. And Jeff, you probably had your hands full for the past few weeks because we haven't seen you in a long time either.
I know.
What's up, so anything new for you, Jeff? We'll start off with that, and we'll just run down the line.
Work, snake breedings. I'm crushing it so far. Got about 100 eggs cooking and lots more on the way. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my life is snake farming and saving lives and shit. Other than that, I had an interesting day today. I got woken up and there were two ladies waiting at my door, and it was obviously a religious call. I opened the door. I was like, what can I do for you? You know, my hair, like I just woke up, so my hair was going 8 different directions. I probably had like one eye closed because of the sun, and, started to talk. I was like, no, thank you. And the other one grabbed her by the sleeve and pulled her away from my door. I was like, what the fuck was that? Right? So I looked down at my shirt, and I was wearing Maybe Today's Satan. Perfect timing. Perfect time.
Hey. I don't know why they go door to door. I was trying to go out the other day with my father, and we were going to the movies, and we had someone come up like that and start doing that, and I had enough, so they walked away nonetheless. But teach their own, I guess.
Yeah,
we're out there not preaching the good word. Thank you. Well, thank you, Ant.
Right. My thought is I'm just going to record everything on my ring cam and have a big sign up to sales. I'm going to be roasted, and just go to town on them.
Roasted salesman. Yeah. Justin and I were
physically roasted. I meant insulted roasted.
But, I think we got your drift there.
Yeah. I'll let them to determine what it means.
Yeah, we can roast them. Justin and I were we've been out of town a long time, folks. We're working on some new things. We've had some pretty good experiences. We've been all over the United States and out of the United States within the past month. We've been on over 11 to 12 different airplanes, up and down, here and there, across the time zones. Jet lagging. We've had some fun. We've
Then
met some interesting people.
I might say Troy's done rather well on the airports.
Yes. I've had a really good time because anybody knows me knows I don't like to fly. But you know what? I figure, fuck it. If we're going to die, at least we're having fun doing it.
Right.
He does not like to fly, but I think we've flown more in the past in the past month or so than we have for a long, long time. So
yeah, our first flight, I hadn't flown in a long time, and our first flight was 8 hours. So that was you really didn't get to break yourself in. You just got to break in. What's up, Bill? How you doing? So we stopped by, had to take Justin home. He rented a car, and then we had to get postponed, so we're moved out a little bit. So we got some time here. We can play in the Croc Show. And we ended up going down and seeing Ant and them. And that was a really good time, was it not, Justin?
I had a great time. I had a phenomenal time. Ant, you're great. Jim's great. The restaurant was great. They really treated us like human beings. We're not used to that very much.
We went into this really nice Italian restaurant. And
hi.
Justin and I looked really grody compared to everybody in there in their white shirts with their glasses of wine. I'm like, oh, man. Not Ant, though. Ant went in there, patrioted out, did. He was the patriot.
The patriot, yes.
So they were like, what is wrong? What is Ant hanging around with these two for? But it was cool because if you saw him, it was just people were staring like, what the heck was that? It was pretty funny.
Well, it's almost like Ant. Go ahead.
I was like, it's Florida. Like, nobody really dresses up. Like, we don't dress
That's not really true. That's not really true. There's places where they do, buddy.
That's not one of them, sorry.
Well, it was a very nice restaurant. I mean, it was great. Meals start at $65 and up, so you should be dressing up. If you're going to a place like that, they're like, "Oh, I'll take a glass of water. That's $11.99. All right, that's not a problem."
You know, you got to think a lot of people can't afford to dress up because they spend all their money on the meal. So,
and they brought an entire harvested full acre of mushrooms to the table for Justin.
It was actually very good. Those
I mean, that amount of mushrooms is like, I've only seen them. Well,
in different form.
hey, you could take a mushroom like nobody's business.
Yes, Justin can for sure.
Yes, I can. Yes, that
definitely
is a
the master.
superpower. It is a superpower of mine. Although these weren't that kind.
So
I was
you're like,
expecting like
you're like,
But he definitely was. He was definitely in on that. He was definitely in on that. Yeah, we've had a really good time. I really wanted to catch up on the ant, so it was good to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I told him when we were down there we'd have to stop by, so it definitely is. What do you got going on, Ann? I want to know some stuff. Brittany's currently out of town. If she can log in, everybody, if she can log in, she'll be here. She's currently on the road, working on the same project that Justin are on. She's just tied up a little longer, but she's also putting together, and she's very busy. She's also putting together our reel where we took Ann to the Ma Barker. That was pretty cool. So we're going to be seeing that soon too. As soon as she gets to it, it has not been forgotten.
Oh, it's such good.
Did you bring anything home with you, Aunt, that time? I mean,
I did not. No, I did not.
I noticed you're not protected tonight. You don't have your little thing on. What's up, Sean?
Well, it doesn't really go with a tank top too well.
With a wife beater, a black wife. Yes, it does. A cross and a wife and a black wife beater goes good together.
But then I would see. But then I would be fitting that whole Dago bill, like wearing the Dago. I'm Italian. I got the cross on. They're gonna be like, "Where's this guy from?"
And all you would have to do is put on your ring.
Well, pinky ring did.
The pinky ring. Yeah.
It's the pinky ring. Sorry, guys. I'm covering my face, too. I had a tooth yanked out of my head. So my face is sagging a bit.
We can use our imaginations. I wanted to say, you said that you had some religious people come to your door.
Yes.
So what I always do is, the Church of Latter-day Saints loves to knock on my door. It's really easy for me because I just swing my door open and I'm like, gay. I'm gay. And then I shut the door. And they understand. It's kind of like the same situation for you. They see the shirt and they're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. She looks scared. I didn't realize why.
What have I been up to? Was that my question?
Yeah, man. You've been doing a lot of stuff. We've been trying to follow. We got to catch up. I've seen you hanging out with the president, all kinds of stuff. I mean, or the former president.
No, he's my president. There's always different things going on at Mar-a-Lago, and then I did it was actually a police street training event. They bring in officers from all over the country. We did our podcast from there that I'm usually on. It was great. It was super fun. Next week coming up, I'll be in Staten Island, New York. I'm actually holding and hosting a trafficking awareness event, a child trafficking awareness event, and working with an organization called Call to Rescue. They're literally boots on the ground. They bust these guys in real time for trafficking, 14-year-old girls and boys and all kinds of stuff. So all that money is going right to Call to Rescue. So they have the resources they need to do that. So if you're in Staten Island, look in my bio. You will find that information. If you can't go, that's fine. But if you donate, that's awesome too.
And we are still, now that we're back, I've got some time. I'm going to be working on stuff to get out to we're still going to Salem. We're still going to do that tour. So we're going to drop that. And it's going to be coming with us on that one, September 6th.
Yep.
We've got all the stuff put together. We'll release that so we can get everybody on board with that and we can rock and roll.
Yep.
So we'll be doing that. But I have a question for you. And I look at some stuff too. And I mean, people finally, what's up? How you doing, Cody? Like I see those they stop trafficking and stuff, and I see a lot of it online, not necessarily ones you're in cahoots with or whatever. But I always see them like posing. They're like pose off like a model. They got like a gun, like stop trafficking.
Oh yeah, no
grenades, and I'm thinking with grenades, and I'm thinking the kind of people that traffic do not follow the law, and they would just assume kill you and throw you in the ocean. So you can pose with all your tactical grunt T-shirts on and stuff. I think these guys are way more advanced than that. Then be doing that. So I mean, I know there's guys on the ground, but people have to realize that it's not what Ant's getting involved with is really dangerous. And he's very loud about it, and the people that he works with, and they'll get rid of you. It's kind of like the people that were talking about the Boeings. I mean, they just disappear.
I was just reading about the second one.
And that's what I'm saying. And so that's the same thing that Ant's involved with. You're getting in the way of business, and human trafficking is a terrible thing, and it's big money. And I mean, that's a dangerous thing. And so I just want to make sure that they separate you from the people that are acting like they're out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, there's many different organizations and guys that are boots on the ground and do this for clicks and likes and stuff like that. This organization does not have a social media platform, so they're not posting videos.
That's how you pick the good from the bad.
Yeah, they don't have pictures like that online of them with combat wear on. These are a lot ex-military, a lot of ex-police officers, but they go through, and this is what's important to listen. People send me stuff all the time. Oh, this person needs to be busted. There's a chain. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go and bust people. Like, this isn't Ghostbusters, okay? If you see something, say something. That's what the awareness is about. If you think that there is something that is going on in because we could talk about all the Hollywood and the lists, and that's beyond our control, unfortunately. But, sometimes it's things that are happening in your own neighborhood, and it's just being aware, the awareness to it. These guys do everything the legal way. So they get local law enforcement involved when they're on stakeouts or when they're watching somebody, when they bait somebody. They don't go in without law enforcement knowing that they're doing that. They don't post pictures online. They don't have the really cool TikTok accounts. That's not what it is. So, yeah.
So cool.
Be aware of who you're supporting. I know everyone wants to support a cause. That's fine. You can do that. Just be aware.
Well, Troy and I were talking about this a little bit the other day too, and I guess because there is a couple of TikTokers, or I don't know if they're on TikTok, Instagram, whatever social media account they use or social presence they use to go track these people down, and then they'll go and beat up on them. And then two things we were talking about: what if there's somebody that's mentally challenged that doesn't even know what's going on? And then on the other flip side of that too, if you go in, intercept, and do something on your own end, then you're not necessarily going to be able to do anything on the justice side of things. Like, they're going to throw that right out of court.
Yeah, if you go and just beat, because, you do want to beat these people up because some of this, but if you don't go through the right channel, these people are going to get let off. I mean, it's you're ruining the investigation, the case, everything that you worked for to try to bust these people. So always get people involved that are knowing what they're doing. You got to go get the police involved, go through the right channel, so yeah, that's important. And there are people that are mentally challenged. I think that's important to understand. There are people 100%. That are not 100% there. They don't know or understand what they're doing. And
that's something I want to touch on. And before we move on to Boeing, I want to touch on that because I want Jeff to bring up some of the Boeing stuff. I watched some of these guys. One of them that was doing it, he's now dead. He was offed, and he got involved with someone that was a real predator, and they weren't taking that kind of stuff, and he's gone. But I see these other guys out there, and clearly some of these people that they bust, right? They are severely mentally challenged people. They may be in a 40-year-old body, but their brains are 12 years old. Okay. So we also have to take into consideration that some of them don't really know what they're doing. And we all were 12 years old before we acted a little sexual, or we would, talk about things that might be a little off color or taboo at that age. So beating up a mentally retarded person for an act that he did not quite commit yet is pretty unacceptable. And if you also want to put these people away that are real predators, like Touch Me Terry and people like that, I think that that's an inside thing. But I think that you should do it the legal way, because they're not just children they're going after.
I know that inside thing.
I know you do. They're going after this. They're going after a group of females that may be abused or had problems. That just knocked. Justin died. But they go after girls that are abused. And so these are real predators. So to go after these types of people, all joking aside, you can't just beat them up on film because you're ruining all the evidence that you did. Right? And they'll throw that out.
Spider hands.
He can't. Ant's doing it. Ant's doing the claw, the Terry claw.
Yeah, it comes over your back like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I agree.
Shit like that, you have to be careful with.
Troy, I agree with you 100%. And that's why it's like, it needs to go through the right channel, the right people, the right thing needs that, so super important. Listen, I don't want to see any of this stuff. So the people that I work with to try to get this, there's different levels of what people do within this organization. I don't have in my mind I would not be able to see the things like the
right. It takes a strong person. I agree with you.
100%. I can admit that. But if I can bring the awareness to an organization that's doing all those things, I'm in 100%. And what I think would be cool, what I would want to do is I would want to be like, not a decoy per se, but like a phone decoy where like they give you a predator and you basically act like the 13-year-old or 14-year-old. You bait them. Basically, I could do that, but I can't see the things. I don't want to see the kids being hurt. I don't want to see the pictures of it. I don't want to see the after. I don't want to see all that. I can't do it.
And like I said, we have to be very clear. There is a difference between mentally challenged adults that have childlike minds and clearly predators. There's a big difference. I've seen a video where one clearly had Down syndrome, and they were pushing him around and slapping him. And you're pushing a person with Down syndrome. You clearly know they're not there all mentally, so they're probably doing something that they didn't know was wrong, right? And we've all seen that where they'll be like 40 years old, but they're still walking around with like Pokemon shirts on and carrying a stuffy.
Well, their
you can't
parents
beat
are still
someone up
taking
like
care
that.
of them. Yeah, they have a child mentality. Their parents are still taking care.
Right.
of
So
them.
getting them lured somewhere and then beating them up is you're just as disgusting if you do that. So I'm not always saying that the justice system is good because by God, it's not. And there's loopholes, too many loopholes for that specific thing that people get away with. Like we could go rob a bank and we'll get 50 years, but you could go do something to a child and you'll get 2. That I've never understood. But we don't need to steal. The government does enough of that already. We need to chill out a little bit of that,
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to do stuff. So, that's what Justin was referencing. We were talking about, and I think that was one of the issues at hand. And so I'm glad you're part of that.
Thank you.
I think that's really cool that you do that. And it takes a lot, man, because you're pretty public. You're pretty public in the eye. And I think that, rather people agree with you or disagree with you, you're still doing a good thing,
Yeah, I mean, what kind of branch off of it? And it's not even. This isn't even a political issue. Like this is a both sides of the aisle issue. What kind of branched off of it is, being somebody that was part of the LGBT community, I saw a lot of things that I wanted to protect that community as best as I could. And sometimes people use different organizations. What's that?
I say, what's up, Michael? He's saying, what's up?
Oh, I thought you said the Bible. I was like,
yeah, that doesn't, I don't have that. I don't know that word.
No, I know. I misheard you. But, I want to protect my community because there's a lot of different communities and organizations that just get hijacked by people that are not good.
Right.
And so the way that started, guys, was I was just calling out the bullshit in trying to protect what the LGBT community worked so hard for to just be normal, leave us alone, that kind of stuff. It's not a political thing. And so it kind of spawned from that. You know what I mean? Then it opened up these doors. Then there are actually bad people that hijack these different communities. And so not to get too far into it, but that's kind of where it
yeah, they do that. They do hijack. They hijack a lot of them for monetary gain and public recognition. And I agree 100%. And like I said, for me and Jeff, you have to understand that going in our background of growing up for us, man, gays were they were the abomination of the world, bro. Like that's what they were saying about them. So, you got generational brainwashing and DNA memory. And so I think once, and I really believe this because I've known some real bigoted people towards homosexuals in my life that are now completely changed people. I never was like that. I never really cared. I never gave a shit about who you slept with, or that wasn't my thing. Just don't hurt nobody. Just try to be an honorable person was my whole life's. That's just who I was. I didn't care about that stuff because, first of all, I don't believe in that teaching, so I'm not going to listen to that anyways. And so we clearly know people do their thing. So I want to make that clear. And then second of all, you know, if you're part of if you're a part of something, I don't think you should hijack anybody's belief system or do whatever to try to benefit yourself, or like I'm going to go join with you the LGBTQ to be with you, Aunt, because I'm going to have your back for gays, because it's none of my fucking business. I need to stay in my own lane. I just need to support what you do because I'm your family to me. And now, with that being said, when it comes to that stuff, when someone's taught to hate somebody for so long, now I think people are finally starting to see that people, it doesn't matter if you're straight or homosexual or bisexual, you're still a human being. You have feelings. Right. You care about people. You love your animals. You work hard. You pay your taxes. But before, you were just this terrible thing that was bringing everybody to hell and doing Satan's work. And that took a long time to break that whole. To me, that's so cartoonish. That's like a video game. That's like Vice City being gay city, and we just go around. We're just killing gays because they don't work for the Lord. It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And all the stuff that people do and persecute people for that is ridiculous. Now, if you're hurting someone and you're just an all-out scumbag, guy, girl, gay, straight, or bi, doesn't matter. You need to be off the street and out of people's way. Mm-hmm. It's plain and simple. But I think that the movement worked for. I never understood why you couldn't be married. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, same.
So why can't they get married?
That's just why would you?
How was I hurting Earl Bob?
We should be able to be just as miserable as y'all, motherfucker.
Right. That's right. I just never could understand how that's hurting Earl Bob and Agnes in their trailer, dude. I just don't understand why they have to be so
affecting them. Whatever. We can get into that. We already know why it's affecting them because it is. You know, Agnes is a great name.
And Earl Bob.
Well,
don't forget Earl Bob.
Yeah. The whole
with his Walmart boots.
Earl Bob with his Walmart boots and his chew, his backy chew. His little spit up. I think the systemic takeover of organizations has become commonplace. We see it in our own industry, Troy.
We do.
Jeff, you've seen it in our own industry. I think any industry and any place that you go to, once there's a name formed or something to follow, at first, no matter what the intentions are, we have
to be made.
Yeah, you have a good following in the beginning, and then things get skewed, and then people do less research, and then it becomes more of especially nowadays with social media the way it is, it's more of like, okay, it's an attention grab, or it's a way to create content or get a channel, and then things get skewed, and it starts going left and right instead of right down the middle where you wanted it. So, I mean, especially for you guys, in the LGBT community to fight for what you fought for, and then have that straight to the left-hand side or the right-hand side, whichever way you want to look at it.
Never went to the right, I can tell you that. Just tell me.
Well, regardless of anything.
Let's not get off track, Jay.
It's been, it's for any organization like that. Like, people will come in and they take it, and it's never for the right intentions. Like, it starts off with the right intentions, and it always ends up being about money, attention, or power.
Well, what I've noticed being in this situation for some time is you guys, like family and friends like this, like I don't consider you, and I'm going to use this word and then I'll explain. I don't consider you guys allies of the community. You don't have to think that in your mind because you know that you love good people. So it doesn't matter for you. Well, there's no ally. Obviously, you're an ally to a human if they're a good person, if they're a good human.
100%.
But the people that drive me nuts are when they have that like in their bios, or they have, in their straight community, and they're like, we're an ally. Well, I fucking hope so. It's 2024. Please stop advocating for me. You're the worst, because you are virtue signaling to people.
I was gonna say,
and you are you're trying to be like a crusader or something. And it's like, that's the person that like will grab you when you're at a bar and they'll be like, just so you know, I also have a son that's gay, and I'm sorry for everything you go through, and you're like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? I haven't gone through shit. I mean, okay.
I mean, Ant lives the life. What do you mean? Ant just gets in a limo, goes to Mar-a-Lago, wears the suit.
But you know what I'm saying? It's these people, and then just like I grew up outside Chicago, man. I have so many different backgrounds and cultures that I'm friends with my whole life. in my mind, I never said, I have this person that's a friend. I have this person that's of this culture that's a friend. I have this person. But again, it's suburban people that have no idea. You talk about like things like the Black Lives Matter movement. Great. It's if you're a person that believes you're from a black community, you were born and raised in that community, you see issues in that community, use your voice, use your right to speak out. But it's not my business as a white man to come over there and start putting my bullshit when I lived in the suburbs. I don't know what you went through. So please, Janet, go grab your Starbucks and go back home for me, honey, because you have no idea what's going on this side of town, okay? So until you do, then you could put all the fucking flags in your bio and the fists and all that shit. But but that's what I'm saying. It's always people that shouldn't be in that. It's like shouldn't be in that realm because you don't know what you're talking about, and they ruin it for the ones that actually have a movement.
Yep.
Well, it goes to the point.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and it goes to the point of like you can. It doesn't matter what the person is, what color, what creed. Doesn't matter orientation, any of that. If the person's good, the person's good. If the person's a douche, the person's a douche. There's no two ways about it.
Easy.
But it's not. It's exactly like you said. Nobody has to step in and try and pretend like they understand, or you can relate to somebody and some things that they've been through. But to understand a person's whole life or identity or whatever it may be across the table, and then use that to your advantage, then you're just a douche yourself at that point.
Well, to your point,
go ahead, Jeff.
Justin, to your point, it's people who put it out there for social media or cover their car in bumper stickers or flags all over. And I'm not talking about just LGBTQ, but Biden flags, Trump flags. I mean, just like literally littered in their yard and pasted to the side of their house. It's not for them. It's not, well, it is for them, but it's not for people to be like, oh, I'm going to vote for that person, or I'm going to be more accepting of this community or that community. It's all virtue signaling, like Ant said. It's so everybody goes, hey, look at me, everybody. I think like you think, and let's, I need to be accepted by society. So I'm going to put up the biggest freaking stupid flags and everything else I can put in my yard so that everybody knows that that's the kind of person that I am. Even people that
unless you put something that's not that, like, so Jeff, if you put a bunch of rebel flags in your yard and fucking a couple satanic stars, the whole town's after you too. So I mean, it still has to go with their agenda.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense either. Whoever,
I know, but it's the way of the world.
If you're doing it for yourself and your beliefs or whatever your beliefs are, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, regardless of what you believe in, well, even if you wanted to put that outside, you want to put some shit like that outside, you want to put a flag like that outside. I think my flag at my last house said "Don't fuck with us" or some shit like that.
Yeah, I love that flag. That was a great flag.
That's just a message.
Yeah, but
it looked like a pirate flag. Don't come here, you'll die. I was cool.
Yes, and it's tattered now. But regardless, like whatever I feel like putting outside is for me, and it's the way that I want to either express myself or decorate my shit, and you should be allowed to. Any way you want. And in this day and age, you can't, because everything gets taken so off the wall and shit like that. And now with what we're talking about as far as like hijacking a movement and stuff, that's more and more common. And individuality seems to be going out the window.
What's up, Paul?
Left and right. And then on top of that, like you have a lot of attacking from, and I'm sure Ant gets it probably more than anybody else because he takes a stance and says
the two biggest groups. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say it. It's not even.
Say it.
Democrats and liberals. Can I say it? Is that it?
Yes, I get. But far right Christians.
Or that
far right Christians don't like gay people. I've never heard of such a thing.
No, but even
they
though
were burning them up 200 years ago, they'd set you all on fire and throw you off the shit and drink to it.
But here's what's so funny about it. I'm okay. Thanks, honey. That was Jimmy. Everybody.
I love you, Jimmy.
I hope so.
They love you, babe. They love
Jimmy.
you.
He took really good care of us. Give him some props.
They like you. They like you when you're supporting their current thing. They like me because I'm speaking out and protecting kids. They like me because I voted for the same person as them.
But you're still going to hell.
These are the same people that are, love my neighbors, and then Lord is my savior in their bio, and then I get a death threat saying you deserve to die. I have a problem with that.
Yep.
So, but this is something. But look, I just mentioned both sides, Democrats and far right Republican Christians. But I think that honestly, you guys, like, I hate that I didn't mean to like hijack your show in a political way.
No, that's why you're here. No, that's why you're here.
No,
There's
but
a few things I want to touch on.
I honestly think that over 80%, if not more, of America is really in the center. I think that we all probably agree on so much more than we think. But see, the media
influences ruins a lot of things.
You know, the media, both sides of the media is propaganda. They try to peg each other against.
The entire
they
media
have agitators and online.
I think the entire media is owned by one organization, and they know how to funnel money in on both sides, 100%. And there's two things I want to talk about. I'm going to get on something, and I know since you're here, I'll say it, and then I do want to move on to the Boeing thing because I think that's interesting. We all have that circle. We all have that one or two people that are in our circles that are closet homosexuals. And what I mean by that is we'll go and hang out with like Ant, or me and Justin will pose cutesy on the back of an alligator, and we'll get these messages. Oh, are you going gay now? Are you guys a bunch of gays? The person that says that is a closet homosexual.
For sure.
And they're fishing. They'll act like they're not gay. They're 100% gay, and they want to be that. They want to be that cream in the middle of that Oreo. You know,
well, that's how they justify, you know, and reconcile their own feelings by, you know, I'm uncomfortable feeling this way. Let me hate on somebody else, and then, you know, it'll make me feel better about who I am, and you know, it'll. Take
I mean, you're authentic gay people, dude, that are just true to who they are, like Ant. Make me fucking laugh, dude. The stuff he says and his skipping along and shit and all that stuff fucking kills me. I love hanging around him. That's just, to me, that's just fun shit. And so someone will be like, oh, you can hang around Ant now, are you gay? That to me is like, listen, I'm sure he can introduce you to some of his friends, you know, if you want to, you know,
I'll be like, why, baby? Are you jealous?
I know that makes me laugh. It's because when you're completely secure in what you do, you're just who you are, and it doesn't matter. I've never felt threatened or scared. I don't understand that feeling. So, you know, yeah, I think a lot of them want to be the double stuff, dude. I just think, you know, how many guys want to get in between me and Justin? Come on now.
I would love
Squeeze
to
it in.
Oh, I thought we were talking about me getting double stuffed by Justin. I'm sorry. What were we talking about?
See, that's the shit right there. That's just funny, man. That's funny to me. And I think that, you know, when they look at us, for real, they'll look at me and Jeff. Like, they wouldn't even let me, Jeff, in the zoo one time because we were so ugly, I guess. But they'll look at the three of us, and they automatically think we're these redneck pride. We hate blacks. We hate homosexuals. That's just not us at all. We're just not those people. We may fit that criterion looks, but that's just not who we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot to that. There's a lot to be said. And so I also find it funny that, and I'm going to say it, I'll talk about the elephant in the room. I see a lot of these kids out there putting up things on their social things now that say, you know, gays for Palestine and all that kind of stuff. I don't think you understand what would happen to you if you were found out to be a homosexual there. It would be a very bad thing, wouldn't it? Would you be safe there? Would you be safe there in it?
No.
Would you be safe?
You want me to talk about this?
I do. I want you to tell people so they understand
sure?
The reality is lost. You can send your money and support, but now you're bringing a sexual preference into a subject, whether it's right or wrong, whatever you want to defend. You can be on whatever side you want to be on. But I don't bring it, well, straight men for Palestine or straight men for Israel. That's the stupidest thing you can do. I think it's
Here's the thing
about the government, though. I think it's more about the territory and
it is, which it is. I listen, I don't know what's going on in the Middle East. I don't. So I'm not
exactly.
I have no room to talk. I have no room to talk about anything that black people go through because I haven't gone through it. I'm not black.
Agreed. Neither do I. Agreed.
I have sympathy for them in situations that I hear, but I have no idea. So I'm not going to sit there and be like,
do you know?
I don't know.
Do you know what people go through? Do you know what people go through, Ant, when you hang around Cubans? They're always late. They cause you anxiety. They never show up on time. We go through that. You know nothing about that, but you will now because now you have a Cuban in the circle.
I know. Well, Italians could be
They
that way
don't call
too.
him Justin Ditch
But-
for nothing.
But go ahead,
Well,
finish what you're saying.
But so with that situation is I honestly only care about my country. I'm from the United States of America. I'm first generation born here in the United States. My parents came from Italy. I don't care what happens in Italy right now. I don't care what happens anywhere else besides the United States of America and my brothers and sisters that live here. That's it. My family and friends, my country, that's what I care about. But if you want to be part of the LGBT community, you got to say what's right. If I got on a plane today and I ended up in Palestine or any place of Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, all these, wherever, I'm not mad. Even Russia, let's call a spade, even places like Russia. But I am not a crusader for these countries. Whatever their laws and religions are in those countries, that's your business. I'm not gonna parade for you here though, because I know that if I went to you, you would throw me off of a building. So, but please, queers for burqas, do you know what Sharia law is? Like, there's gay people walking around with rainbow burqas. Like, do you know what women go through in those countries? You really support that? And you think they would support you? You know what they're saying? There's like, we don't want the support from the fucking homosexuals. Tell them to go fuck themselves in America. That's what they're saying about them. So I don't know what's going on in the Middle East. I don't want people to die on either side. But it's also not my problem, unfortunately. It's not my problem. Sorry. That's my opinion on it. Hate me if you want. I also know that Tel Aviv has one of the biggest pride parades in the entire Middle East. They're the most accepting when it comes to the gay community. So if you wanted to go somewhere, you would be fine going to Israel. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not saying I support one or the other, but
Yeah, and that's fair enough because I don't know enough about it, and I don't go by what Facebook and Instagram and people say because they play on people's emotions. And if you work emotionally on something, like Jeff can't go to work and work off his emotions all day. He's got to save people. He doesn't have time to get emotional. He's got to move on to the next. So you have to think that way in life. And so at least that's my opinion. And so when you emotionally think and you're emotionally into something like that, you can lean too far, maybe the wrong way, and you're going to fall off the cliff. Period. End of story. End of story.
right.
So,
and see, that's the beauty of what people don't realize in this country that we do for people that are in this country. You save lives every day. You don't care about their political background. You don't ask them before you're about to save their life. Hey, who do you support? What do you do? No, you just
I
save
don't
their
have
life.
to ask. They just tell me anyway most of the time.
But you know what I'm saying?
No,
But
I know what you mean.
it's even for me. I have very strong political opinions. Okay, Troy and I don't agree on some stuff either. But
I don't know
we
what it
love
is.
each other. I fucking adore him. You and I don't agree on stuff,
I
but
don't-
we
well, I mean,
do
I-
agree on some stuff.
Absolutely.
But when,
I don't remember what it is. Is there something we don't agree on?
I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. We haven't come across it yet.
Oh,
but
yeah, I
I'm
was gonna say, I don't know. I mean-
we're- but the point is like I have strong political opinions. But guess what? I also like to do things for like humanitarian work. So when the hurricane here happened, one of the most beautiful things I had ever seen in my entire life was people rolling up, and they might have had a Biden mask on. They might have had a Trump mask on. They might have had a Patriot flag hanging from the back of their truck. They might have had an LGBT or a Black Lives Matter sticker on their car. But guess what we didn't give a fuck about? None of that. We were just handing them food, water, helping each other, hugging each other, pulling them out of floods, pulling them out of houses, because that's what it's about at the end of the day.
That's humanity. It's just that's basic human kindness and compassion, which is something that we lack so much in the world right now, that everybody is so, it's not even what they believe in. It's the antithesis of what people don't, the opposite of them believe in. Oh, well, I don't want you to believe in this. So it's never about. I just got off on a little tangent there and lost my train of thought.
I love that. I love tangents. What happened to my husband?
He's coming back. He just texted me. He had to go to a different phone because his phone, I guess, died. So he's getting on another phone.
That phone is tragic. That, you guys, if you saw his phone, he needs help with social media. Big time. That phone is like prehistoric.
Justin's?
Yes.
Well, it's a
Or it
14.
looks beat up or something.
He beats
Something
it up. He definitely beats it up. Justin is
We're
like a
still
big
talking,
kid, man.
Still talking about the phone, right? He beats up
Yep.
the phone. Oh, okay. I thought he was okay.
Yeah, we don't. You know, I do want to get on what you were going to bring up too, Jeff. While we're waiting on Jay to come back in, hopefully he does. I mean,
Sure.
You know, I know how people are. They love their JJ. But there he is. He's popping in. I see him as soon as he comes in. I got him.
Cool.
Boom, there he is. But tell me about it. So you know, a second person now.
Yeah.
Died from Boeing, like because they're talking, dude.
Well, I mean, Joshua Dean was the second one. He was another Boeing whistleblower. Died of a staff-acquired pneumonia, which is not, unheard of at all. It's very common. Pneumonia is really, really common, especially amongst people who have been hospitalized or who are in long-term care facilities. I mean, really, all it is an infection within your lungs, and it's easy to get. It's hard to get rid of. So this guy, died from pneumonia, which would be pretty damn hard to set up. However, it's a lot of coincidence that was it James Barnett was the first one. He a guy who, by all accounts, was a well-adjusted, guy looking forward to all the Boeing bullshit behind him, suicided himself in a parking lot of a hotel.
Wait, so the first guy unalived himself, I'll say, and the second guy died from pneumonia, or so they say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The first
That's what they're saying.
was he just finished. I mean, literally, all his testimony was done, and I believe it was like a day or two later he was found dead from apparently self-inflicted in a parking lot of a hotel that he was staying in, after he was telling all his friends and family how relieved he was that it was all over. And then the second died on April 30th, which was another whistleblower for the same company. Now, I'm not a huge conspiracy theory proponent, but I also don't really believe in coincidences, especially like that. That's a pretty heavy coincidence that, and the crazy part is that they were already all done. The whistle's been blown, but is it a warning to future whistleblowers? Is it, something to say, oh, well, this is what happens when you fuck with a Fortune 500 airline, airplane manufacturing company. So it's just, I just find it really suspect, and I find the timing really suspect. I'm not saying that it was a conspiracy or the government or Boeing, but I'm not saying it wasn't.
I mean, it's hard to lean on one side or another when things like that happen.
Right.
And we've been seeing
absolutely two within 6 weeks.
Well, we see things like that, since the dawn of existence. We see all these weird occurrences and things like that. And I think it's foolish to discount everything right off the rip. I think it's also foolish to sit on the side of everything is this and everything is that, and it's just that black and white. I think
right. And you see a lot of that amongst conspiracy theorists. It's that one thing can't be a conspiracy, everything has to be a conspiracy. From the moon landing to
one-off.
There was a comedian that did a bit about that, basically saying, like, I forget his name, man, but he did a bit on the government and stuff, and he's like, oh, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but to say that the government is batting 1,000, I can't really say that. He's like, I got one kid, and I lie to him all the time. So, I mean, it kind of goes in line with that.
People like Joe Rogan that are not have never been political are coming forward and saying stuff like that too. And now, did the Boeing was Boeing friends with the Clintons at all? Just
I'm pretty sure they're friends with everybody. It's a huge. I mean, Boeing's the number one, and it's also Boeing's also for all the conspiracy theorists out there, based out of Seattle. Just saying, by Microsoft. But I really don't believe that that's part of it. That's just me playing into Ant a little bit. But I just think that, I mean, how stupid would you have to possibly be, especially in this day and age when no matter what you do, you're under a microscope to dead a couple people in such a public way. I mean,
it's on a bigger scale, bro. I mean, if you got Hillary doing this, Hillary's not doing this. She got people. She got the men in black. We are the men in
they only
black.
take care of aliens.
They knocking on your door and you're like, I'm fucked.
Oh, if Will Smith knocked on my door, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably just slap him and
Speaking
close
of
it.
that, did you see they're doing another Bad Boys, dude?
Yeah.
Are they really? With Will Smith?
Yeah, I
and,
want to see that
and,
one. Both of them are the same. It looks just as good as the first two, and I want to see the Furioso, the new Mad Max. I mean, I know they threw a chick in there; they had to do that. And then there's what is it? Planet of the Apes is coming out. We got to see all these.
the new Planet of the Apes. See, I grew up on the original Planet of the Apes. You know, that was my favorite franchise when I was a kid. Was the original Planet of the Apes movies.
The new Bad Boy, though.
I remember that.
Will Smith doesn't have a gun in the new Bad Boys. He just goes around bitch slapping everybody. So I'm for it.
He's got his hand in a holster.
White powder.
Don't get me on the Hollywood conspiracy, y'all. Okay.
Oh, we got more?
We won't go there, huh?
So we got more? I can listen to that shit all day long.
Bro, I could sit here all day and talk about
What's up, Ange?
What's up, Ange?
Yeah, I think those would be because there's a lot of BS going around. You know what else is weird? I'm really glad you got that tooth out of your face, Justin, because I can hear you now. Like you're talking.
Well, I'm talking to
your voice is even louder now that motherfucker's gone.
Ooh, that motherfucker got deep now. Oof.
Boom.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Speaking of the airplanes, Jeff, when we were coming into Indianapolis,
woo,
we were on the deadliest catch when that guy was bringing that plane down.
My favorite.
When I mean that plane was rocking, bro. It was unbelievable.
The drops. Those are the worst.
Nope. Drops with sideways, like it would lean to the right and drop, and then catch like this and drop, and then and my sister was like just clutching the seats, like, oh my god. I was laughing, and Justin's like, you can hold that seat all you want, Brittany. This thing goes down, that's not going to help. You should just enjoy it.
I feel like
it was insane. I couldn't believe how hard we were slamming around. It was insane.
I feel like, the more calm you try and pretend to be, the closer you are to jumping up and screaming, we're all going to die, and flailing your arms and running up and down the aisles.
Just making shit.
I just got it in my head. Like, I just said, you know what, Jay? There ain't a fucking thing we can do about it, man. I'm just going to take it, dude. And then we got down. I was like, boop. Like, we hit the ground, boom. But like,
did every idiot on the plane clap?
I think I heard two people start, nobody did it, and they stopped. Isn't that what happened, Jay?
Yeah, two people definitely.
It was kind of like
start the clap.
You were like, "Fuck off! It's normal. We're coming into Indianapolis, you know."
Everybody else was like, "Get me off the fucking plane."
The whole thing up top was like, bam! You could hear all the luggage getting slammed around in there and opened up. It sounded like someone had a bag of marbles, dude, that broke open in there, and it was just crazy, dude.
Definitely doesn't make you want to fly more.
Well, I think the worst thing is
your favorite sister-in-law right now is out of town, Amy. Myself, Brittany, and Justin are on a really big project, and we've actually been on the road for over a month. We've been all over the place, from Kodiak, Alaska to the British Columbia. So when we can go more into detail about what we're doing, as soon as they give us the okay, I'll be glad to do that. It's coming, guys. Just give us a couple more weeks, maybe a month, and then we'll be able to tell everybody what's going on, and it'll be, we're just right now we're in contract, but we got some good things coming up. We've been traveling, and we've been it's going to be a lot of fun. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So, that's about all I can go with it. But that's where she's at right now. She's up there doing her thing, and so
yeah. No matter the experience has been fun. When we get to talk about it, it'll be good. But overall, I think it's been good for everybody on board.
Yeah.
So, it's new. It's something to break the monotony. Not that I don't love what I do, and not that Troy doesn't love what he does, and his sister, and everybody was happy before. But to get to do something like this together is we haven't been able to in a long time, and it's definitely been refreshing to say the least. And it definitely put me in a better spot. So as soon as we can, we will share with everybody.
Yeah, and that's in reference to what Jeff's saying. Any more falling beds? It's not how good Ant is in bed that he's referencing. It's about the
or is it?
He doesn't
it
know.
might be. I mean, I don't know
He
how many
doesn't
legs
know.
on the bed you've broken, Ant.
I guarantee you his mattresses are on the floor now. He got tired of paying for them.
He's like, I'll take 2 box springs. I don't need any legs.
That motherfucker's this tall. No.
What's up, beginners? Yeah, and
It
we
was-
will be back. We're gonna be home, so I want everybody to know we'll be here. It's just going doing the show. We'll be on here, and when we have to leave again and we're gone, Justin and I are on the road sometimes 18, 19 days, and it looks like we're gonna be doing that again, where we're gone like 19 days in a row. So just so you know, we will do it as much as we can until then, and when it slows down, we'll come back to it again.
Me and Ant got this.
We'll peel
What's
peel
up, Alan?
some stuff too.
What'd you say, Troy?
About what? What's that, buddy?
I said, me and Ant got this. You just, give us the reins. We'll take care of
There
it.
you go. Yeah,
You're a little point,
Ant's
counterpoint.
got the time. Yeah, that's fine. We can definitely do that. That's great. I'm not against that at all. Seriously, I'm not. Like I said, it's like there's a bunch of stuff coming, and it'll be a good time. And I think that we're just trying to get everything ironed out because we have a lot of responsibilities here. And he's right. It's not that I don't like what I do. I like what I have, but I'm tired of the whole animal industry in itself and all the Johnny come latelys and all that stuff. And always having to post yourself doing random things or look at me and look what I got and look what we're doing and all my dreams are coming true. And I'm just getting tired of it, dude. It's 30 years for me, 30 fucking years. I don't even want to tell people anymore. Don't call me about it. Like, hey, so I hear you got animals. I'm like, don't even call me about it. You want to talk about something else? Let's talk about something else. You know what I mean? My friends know what I do, and that's good enough for me. And, it's just sometimes it's just, you know what I'm saying, Jay. You've been there. You know what I'm saying.
Oh,
So
I'm grateful to have
it's a
a
tough
business.
thing. It's a tough thing, but it's
Great.
It's just a small part of my life, guys. It's something that I love, I do, and now it's turned into something too much. And when we were coming up, we came up different. There wasn't social media. You had to earn your ways in to do this kind of stuff, to be able to get what we get, to be able to do what we do and earn that reputation. You had to prove yourself. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to put it on. You're going to watch me, pose with girls and hold alligators and crocodiles and shit and look sexy. It's just and anyone doesn't like me for that, fuck off. I really don't even care at this point. So, at the end of the day, we just do what we got to do, and we're on to new projects, and I think that that's important. My animals are my family. I love them. They do a lot of good things, man, and I just make sure each and every one of them doesn't die. And I've been attacked recently because I told them that, talking about the kangaroo that escaped here in Hillsborough County was a blown out of proportion thing by the media, and people are like, yeah, you should let that go, and and you shouldn't have animals in prison and let them go. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just let all my animals go because they know how to live out there because, they've been bred in captivity for 200 years now, right? So they're like, F500. So they're really going to know what to do when there's not someone putting a little bowl out there for them and making sure they're okay, right? So it's just,
most of the stuff we
people
have.
are just dumb. It's the same people that eat cheeseburgers and steaks and have dogs. So go fuck yourself. And I said on that, I commented, everybody's talking to me better be a goddamn vegan. Every fucking one of you. You need to get rid of your dogs, your cats, your fish, your pet parakeet, and the fucking hamster you bought your 3-year-old and get the fuck off my page. That's what I tell them.
I put it to everybody like this. So I love my animals. I love my wildlife. I love the stuff that I have. If I could save the animal world and the entire world as a whole, I would. That's not possible. That's not a probable thing. That's not a realistic way of thought. The only thing that I can do is ensure that the animals that I come in contact with or that I care for, or whether it's a consulting position or whatever it is, or the animals that I care for on my own that I have, to give them the best lives that I possibly can for as long as I can, with the best food, the best care, the best fucking vet care, everything across the board that they get treated better than I do. That's my goal. But if I had the ability to have every single piece of wildlife in the wild, yeah, I'd take that route to be able to do that. But nobody has that power. Everything that we have here was destined to end up somewhere. So the way that I have to look at it is, most of the time, it's better off over here. If it isn't, we'll find somewhere that it's better off at, a place that can handle it, whether it's something, if it's something too big, like a big cat or a bear, I can transport and work with those things. I don't have the space for that here. For me, if I had a big cat or a bear, I'd want like an acre, 2 acres for just those animals alone, like a pair or whatever it was. But I can't sit here and say that, I'm going to be able to put all these animals back in the wild. That's not realistic. Nobody's going to take them back to the wild. They're already in captivity. This is a thing that's been going on for thousands of years. People have done this and kept
We're
all
in
kinds of
captivity.
stuff all the time. Yes, we are. And then the people that
We
do
live in
stay it most of the
captivity. We
time,
pay bills to
they
live in a
do.
prison.
Yeah, but then
The
it's
animals
not
are captive
not a
bred.
prison because
They
we
don't
can
have
leave.
survival skills to be in the wild.
No,
100%.
and some can make it. Don't get me wrong, but most are used to the routine and stuff. And it's just same as if you have your dog inside. If you have your dog inside, that's its enclosure. Period. End of story. It can't open the door by itself unless you have a doggy door where it can go outside. But if you have a doggy door where it can go outside, I guarantee
You got a
you
fence.
backyard. Exactly. So your dog can only go as far as you let it, and they're happy.
But they don't look
with
at
that.
dogs like kangaroos and stuff. And another thing that these idiots don't think about before they get to their typing is that a lot of these countries we have animals from are uneducated, ignorant motherfuckers, and they kill them or they eat so many of them because the country's so poor, nothing's left. So we have in this United States, we work with a few people that have what's called an assurance colony, which means we have them. We have species still there that we can reintroduce if it's okay with the government. You know, it's a complicated process, folks. It's not cut and dry like you think it is. It's a complicated
You just breed them and let them out in the wild.
I would love
to that way.
I would love to say, look, we have critically endangered animals. They breed. I would love to say, hey, every year I'm going to take the lemurs to Madagascar. It's not going to happen. That would take Madagascan government. They would
just get killed anyway, so they can make room for palm oil.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does anybody do their research, dude?
Even here with
they're endangered over there.
You know, it's not easy to be able to captively breed animals and put them out. You know, some of the reintroduction programs are great, but there really needs to be more of those.
There's not enough.
But the Indigo program is a good program and stuff like that, and that's what they really need to do is bring these animals back to the wild so that we can, you know, there's nothing cooler than seeing an animal in the wild. I don't care what you have in a tank or a enclosure in your house. You see it in the wild, you know. I mean, I imagine you two being lemur owners. Seeing a lemur swinging from the trees in Madagascar would give you a nerd boner extraordinaire, you know, even more so than having your pet when you get home because it's something that you can't always see.
Well, you can only experience that stuff where it comes from. And then I'll Quentin Tarantino this thing and bring this thing full circle. That goes all the way back to what we were talking about in the beginning with Ant, with people hijacking whatever the situation may be. And a lot of the times that is the critically endangered animals. We hijack that, and, you know, people will say, oh, you exploit this, you exploit that. In a sense, everybody is. AZA zoos are, the whole 9 yards. You have to make money to be able to feed your animals and get everything taken care of. Some do it to an extent that's not morally correct. Some do it to an extent where they're just revolving, being able to pay bills and keep their animals alive. But there's always somebody that's better at it than we are that will hijack. Some of these people don't even do anything with animals. They just go around, they'll film here, film there, film here, film there. They make a shit ton of money, claim conservation, and they don't do anything for conservation. Maybe they'll show up in an event if they're asked to or paid to or whatever the case may be. But that's as far as their wildlife stuff goes. Go visit a place, make a video, make money, and then after that, you don't want to do anything to take care of the animals. You just want to go back home and not have a single animal at all. Yeah, it's hard. That's life is hard.
They're my little buddies. I keep them here. I don't travel anywhere with my lemurs. They're here. They live here with me, and that's it. And if we go somewhere, it's to my parents to visit, and that's it.
How hard is it? Even you, Jeff, how hard is it? Even you, Ant, with one dog, how hard is it? If you leave, if you do anything, vacation, any of that stuff, that takes
vacations because of my dog, because he can't go in the kennel. You know, I can't go anywhere unless I have a dog sitter come like 4 times a day and walk him and feed him and love on him and, you know, all the shit that he deserves. Even the snakes, you know, I lost a girlfriend because during breeding season, I don't like to be more than, you know, 24 hours from my house, going back to my house, because, you know, if I don't pull those eggs, I could have a $10,000 clutch of eggs eaten, you know, or destroyed. And you know, it's constantly, I probably walk out into the reptile room conservatively 50 times a day and just start opening tubs and taking care of stuff. So it's a lot. It's not easy to keep animals.
It's dedication. It's a whole life of dedication.
You know, none of us are getting rich. You know, it's
nope.
You know,
I'm getting poor by the minute.
Without a doubt, it's a, you know, it's a zero-sum game. So you really got to love it.
You cut in, Ann, if you got to go.
Yeah, I got to pop out. I wanted to say this though before I go. Super excited for y'all to see the next ghost clip. Follow Bat Paranormal, and then all of these people that bitch about conservation and all this stuff. I'm ignorant to it. I don't know. I just know that animals are the most precious thing because they're the most innocent thing and beautiful. These are the same people that are bitching at you for trying to protect and save animals while they walk into their Starbucks that was built in the animals that you're trying to preserve's home, and then bitching and calling Florida wildlife
Yep.
when the
I'm good for that
motherfuckers
too, man.
when the motherfuckers are mad because there's a fucking panther in their backyard or a bobcat
An
or a
alligator.
black bear or a gator or a croc, and then they call Florida
It's gonna
fucking
eat my
wildlife.
dog.
Right.
And but because they're inconvenienced in their gated community that they built in the swamps of Florida. Fuck you, bitch. That's
Yeah,
fucking
man.
my
I love
tell
you.
people that all the time.
That's it, Ant. I think on that note, I can close the show.
Yep.
I
Yep.
So
fucking
yeah,
love
we'll
you.
close it down. We're 5 minutes into the hour, and we appreciate everybody coming out. We're going to do it again next Thursday. If Ant can make it, he will. If he can't, he can't. But Jeff will be here, and possibly Justin, definitely Brittany. We'll all get back together again, and we'll chat. And I will definitely be glad to give everybody the information they need as soon as we are allowed to talk. We'll let you know what's up. But again, we appreciate everybody coming out to the Motley Croc Show and supporting every one of us and every one of our private things. And we love you guys, and have a very, very good weekend.